Hi guys, it's Iris, the Essence of Iris channel. How you doing today? I hope all is well. Well, today is Mother's Day, Sunday, and I've already gone to church, had a good time with other mothers and members of the church, and I had such a lovely time just fellowshipping with everybody. And it made me think about something. First of all, I just want to let you know that I'm not an expert in anything except for finding out who I am. And also, I'm not a medical professional or anything like that, but all I can do is share my experiences. So, what I'm doing now is sharing the result of untapped or unrecognized stress or long term stress. So, that's what I'm doing right now. I hope it helps some of you guys because it's real. In today's time, stress is the number one contributor of so many unknown new diseases. And the reason why I know that because I did a speech on that one day and it stuck with me of how stress is that silent thing that creeps through your system, through your mind. It robs you of your peace. It robs you of your solace and calm. It just sends your mind all over the place. And I know that because that was me. Yep. Many years ago, probably in 2000, it probably started in 2008 and it led up to 2012, where I had a size of a dime, little rash on the back of my right calf. So I went to the doctors and the doctor said, well, see, I like to wear boots. And so she said, well, maybe the boots are preventing you from getting vitamin D from the sun. So let me give you a little cream and hopefully it'll go over. It won't be a big deal. I said, okay, it sounds pretty okay. So I did that. It did go away. But then a couple years later, over time, I was always in a state of stress. I just wasn't aware of it, or, excuse me, I didn't call it that because I was calling myself being a good steward by working full time, managing about 3 ministries in the church, going back and forth to the church, going to school full time, taking care of my life, paying all my bills, doing everything I thought that I'm supposed to do by myself. And even though you're doing it, you don't realize how damaging it could be at some point in your life when your system is so full of stress, your nervous system is whacked, and you just maintain and you thinking you're fine. And I wasn't fine. So over a series of years, I started getting a rash. It was starting to spread. So I went to a specialist, dermatologist, and the dermatologist sent me all over the place getting different tests and creams and pills, and it was just a lot. And I'm not one that likes to take meds for a long time. I try to go the natural route, which is longer because it's natural meds or natural foods or whatever it is, and it just doesn't get the job done as fast, but it takes away from taking all those meds and stuff, which I don't really care for. So I found out later on that it ended up being a little bitty rash on the back of my calf to full-blown psoriasis. Now, if any of you know, psoriasis is a autoimmune system deficiency. And I was like, how did that happen? So as a result of the autoimmune deficiency, I had MRSA. And that was the skin-eating disease, the flesh-eating disease. I was like, where did that come from? My body internally was so jacked up and so stressed out for a long period of time, and I had no idea these things start showing up. And that's when it got my attention, and that's why this season that I'm in, as I'm getting older, it's time for me to inventory what's going on the inside and maintain or manage those areas of fear, trying to perk up that you think is okay, or you do something so you won't have to think about it. But if you go a long time without addressing those issues, like for me, it was just life stuff. Even though I was working full time and everything was okay, I had to make sure I paid all the bills on time. I had to make sure any work that needed to be done on the outside of my home, I had a handyman, so he made sure that was done, but it wasn't free. So I had to run everything. And I promise you, even though you're doing it, that gets old. And for a lot of women, we have that responsibility to show up, responsibility to pay bills, responsibility to keep the house up. And especially if you're a homeowner, you can't just call the office and say, I need this fixed. I need this fixed. That's broken. You got to figure it out. You got to pay for it. You got to find the right people. And that just weighs on you as you continue to do life. So I pretty much thought I had everything squared away. I called it stewardship, showing up on time, doing everything I need to do. But I was worn out. And I still never recognized that until I realized that when I started studying about psoriasis, the psoriasis was an autoimmune issue that spread it from a digestive issue. So all these other things start breaking down little at a time on the inside as a result of me being stressed out from the things that's going on the outside. So today, I am just sharing my story about what happens with unaddressed long-term stress. There is things that will break down in your body. It will cause you to not be the person that you thought you were, and it'll get your attention. And I just ask that you would take the time to inventory what's going on in your life and do something about it. Don't just identify it, but do something about it. So what I decided to do was stop taking all the meds, all the creams, all the steroids. It was just driving me crazy. I didn't feel like myself, so I just told them that I couldn't do it anymore. And it wasn't a life or death situation, but it was a situation externally that you could see rashes and stuff and things like that I really didn't, I covered up. But it never got on my face or my neck, but it was like on the elbows, on the arms, on the legs. And I said, I can live with that until I figure out how to get it taken care of. So one of the main things that I realized was I needed to do was to manage the stress. Look at the different areas that the stress was seeping in. And I had to start hugging it like it was a best friend. I just didn't know. And so I started looking at what I needed to start doing to create a safe space for me, to create a calm daily activity, to create solace in my life, to get back the peace that I had and that I was accustomed to. So those things for me is going to church, it's being in fellowship with people like-minded, people that love the Lord. It is, for me, it's reading my word every day or some type of biblically sound word. It's one of my favorite things, two favorite things. One is going to the movie house. And the reason why I'm not a movie buff, I don't know a lot of actors or actresses, but one thing I do enjoy is going to the movie house because it reminds me of when I was a little girl, probably about 10 years old. I had an uncle that used to take me to the movie house, just him and I, and it was 13 of us. So I felt real special to be taken to the movie house on a regular basis, probably once or twice a month. And at that time, you can see 2 or 3 movies in one sitting. That was really cool. And I got anything I wanted, and I was really, really shy. So those were very endearing, precious times for me. I felt just so special. So today, I will go to the movie house by myself and just be fine. I don't need to go with a person or a group of people. I'm so used to just hanging out by myself that I feel good just saying, I'm going to the movie house today after work, normally on a Friday. And so that's what I know that I really find peace. I don't watch horror movies because those things make me scared. And another area that I really, really, really enjoy, it makes me feel really calm. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel a high level of peace and control. And that's coming home. I love, 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 love just the idea of coming home. I feel like that's my reward, whether I'm coming from vacation, coming from visiting, coming from a function, coming from work. I look forward to the drive coming home. I love entering to the space of coming home. I love coming home, because each room in my home is an expression of who I am on the inside. So the house is not two-color theme. Each room is a new space with a different experience that I love. So in addition to those things, I'm gonna share some other things that you probably wanna take on, and just see if it's something that'll help you, some tools. And I have a couple prayer closets. I try not to use the word frequently of overwhelmed, but when life starts doing this thing and a couple things is trying to distract me from my peace, I'll just take a reset, get in my hammock in my sauna room, or get in one of my closets. I like to be low, where it's pillows, the door's closed, it's dark, so I can get in my space where I can talk to the Lord. I know that He's there, He loves me, He's not judging me, and I can dump on Him, and He's big enough to take care of it. That's one thing that I love, love, love doing. Or I can get in my sauna for about 45 minutes and just let it all melt off. Or I can do a quick workout, get on my treadmill and just put some music in my ears or a podcast and just relax, burn up some calories. It's a controlled environment. Or I can take a walk in my community and move my body. I always like to move, but I don't beat it up like I used to. Like aerobics, jumping up and down, the joint stuff. I don't do that anymore, but I still do something so my body can get rejuvenated and release the stress and the toxins through sweat. And so those are some of the things that I like to do. But in addition to those things, being familiar or routines or habits, those are really key things that you should try to incorporate. My life is very, very, very organized. It's very stable. And some people may call it boring, but I call it an easy, simple life. And it didn't happen overnight. There were times where things was just grabbing at me, just all this stuff in my head. And you don't really sit down to think about it, you just do. And next thing you know, you worn out. I want to be aware. I want to be aware and present of my life today. When I'm driving, I don't want to be running late where I'm driving so fast I can't see the trees, I can't see the people, I can't really not paying attention to my surroundings. I don't want to do that. So I'm the one that have to look at my life and manage it, where I get up in the morning, don't press snooze, get up, do what I need to do, be thankful that I have another day to try to figure it out, to help people and to be helped, and have everything laid out. Go to work, normally you take the same route. You see the same things. It can be boring, or it can be opportunity to just woosah. And I decide not to allow external things or situations to rattle me internally. I just look at it, because if you think about it, if you allow everything that happens to get you all rattled, you are already messed up the process of being able to resolve the problem, because now your mind is all over the place. Your nervous system is all whacked out. So what I'm asking is to just be more present, to take a breath. I get nervous sometimes just preparing to do this. And I say, if I'm going to do this, why am I nervous? It's nobody going to do anything to me. I'm just sharing. So every day, every time I make a video, it gets better. But I just want to stay in the space of awareness and be present of who I am and not try to perform. So I think the thing that I want you to get out of this one is the power of having intentional routines and habits in order to control your environment as best you can, so you can have peace, so you can have calm, so you can enjoy your life today, not after you retire, not after you get that certificate or that you graduate, not after you get an increase from work or whatever the case may be, not after you get a husband or wife, but today. Because this is what we know, today is all we have, this moment. So I think that's pretty much what I want to share. I don't want to add anything. I just want to make sure that you know the importance of self-care, finding out what really causes you to have peace. When you think about the future too much, that'll cause you anxiety. And that's one thing that I've seen the numbers skyrocket from anxiety. People are just afraid, just staying in a state of fear because of the unknown and what they think that people are thinking about them, or not having enough, or what's going to happen if I don't get a mate, who's going to take care of me when I get older. It's so many different questions that we can't answer today. And join the club is all of us don't know. We can plan very well and think that it's going to turn out that way, but sometimes it doesn't. Then you have to recoil and you have to say, have a recourse and say, now what do I do? Just because something didn't work out doesn't mean that that's the end. So incorporate some new habits. You know, one thing that you have control over is your environment. For example, I never go to bed, or I try not to go to bed without making sure my house is picked up. I don't leave paper and dishes. I don't have dishes all over the place. I make sure I wash my dishes. And that'll give you a sense of calm and organization and familiarity and routine and structure. And you wake up the next morning and your house is in order. That's one thing you don't have to be concerned with. And believe it or not, that'll set your mind in a good space. I've tried it. So I'll wake up, everything is in order, dishes are washed. I know what I'm going to put on, not necessarily, but anyway, I know what closet to go in. And just practice that. Try to, do some root. Just do one thing at a time. Don't bombard your mind with, well, I got to do all this. No, you don't have to do all that. Just do one thing that'll change your life and cause more routine in your life so you can have more peace and calm. So that's the word for today. The superpower of routine or habit or sustainability for your life. All righty, guys. Subscribe, give me thumbs up, and share, and leave a comment. Thank you. Have a good day, and happy Mother's Day.